Live testing. Can you hear us? We're not sure.
Yeah, who knows?
Somebody might let us know.
Yeah,
we are back. I've been gone for a while. Have we been still doing this?
Yeah. It's we're back. People were starting to wonder about you. Maybe you're miss out or something like that.
No, we just went on a visit to Mecca, the golf Mecca.
The golf Mecca.
Yeah.
So, I figure let's talk. We'll go halfway home, right? It's halfway through the year, just about, maybe a little bit over. So we got Birdies, Business, and British Greens.
Ooh, let's talk it.
Let's talk British Greens. You've went over the pond?
Went over the pond. Had a Scotland trip. So, for those of you that's the home of golf. I don't know where it was invented, but they claim it at the old course, which was a pretty amazing experience. I didn't know what to expect, but it far exceeded. I don't know how I'm going to beat that on the next golf trip.
As someone who loves golf, I'm sure that you strolling up, get the goosebumps. And
yeah, it was. I was expecting like really cold because they're like a weird microclimate there. I don't know if you.
I don't really study it, but every time you see when they play the Open there, like it just always looks cold and
gloomy.
Blustery.
So, but it's like the whole year they don't change. They stay within like a 40 degree to like 70 degree range for 24, like all year. And then, this is technically their summer, but it doesn't really get hot. It just gets a little bit less cold. So, but yeah, man, it was pretty cool. It's different golf. So like in the States, you can't like bump and run stuff because the grass is like, it'll grab your ball and it doesn't run forever. I had my buddy that was with us. He had a 110-yard putt in the middle of the fairway. He's like, will this get there? He's like, if you putt it, it's going to go because the ground's all hard and pretty cool.
All link styles courses over there, pretty much.
Yeah. So you're 9 holes out and you're 9 holes back. So there's no looping around with the clubhouse for beers. That's the other thing I noticed. In the States, you got the carts, and over there you walk. Everything's walking, and you got your cart full of beer. But they like to drink in Scotland, but they don't drink and golf. So you either are drinking or you're golfing, and that's way different than here.
Don't mingle them.
No, you don't mix because there's nothing to do. Like, what are you going to do? Hold on to the bottle?
I mean, I've walked around. Us Americans could probably figure out a way to lug around a wagon. But all caddy rounds then too.
All caddies, difficult to understand them. I had to make them repeat themselves like 7. It was like watching Train Spotting. I'm like, what?
Were they giving you distances in meters or yards?
They converted for us.
Oh, that was nice.
They did the yard thing.
They'll start messing with you. I had a family friend that went over there last year and played a couple rounds, and he ends up with like a European rangefinder.
Yeah,
and never really paid attention. Like, well, how are you getting that distance? I mean, I think this is in meters.
Yeah, this is a little bit shorter or longer. I don't know which way it goes.
So
3 meters per yard.
So what was your best round? What did you shoot over there?
Best round I shot, I think, was on the old course, or no, the new course is St. Andrews. I think I shot like an 83 or something. But the coolest part was there's stone walls that are like 1,000 years old that were there before the golf courses, and they just built the golf courses around these stone walls. So at this course called North Berwick, there is a hole that like Spieth and those guys always go and like play around with. But there's a stone fence that's about like 3 feet high that is like right next to the green. So if you're coming in, there's a stone wall. You're going over the stone wall right at the green. Just like little cool history stuff like that. I mean, we don't have buildings that are 1,000 years old here.
Yeah,
they're everywhere over there.
Are you trying to say that most of St. John is not built in
no
200 BC?
No, but are they even building anymore, or they're not building around here? What's going on?
They're popping houses up in my subdivision left and right.
Good.
I think still have some buildings. We may have hit a critical mass on price, rate, and some of that stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What's going on?
Let's talk about all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we thought after some what's Trump call him, too late Jerry or Jerome, whatever. After hit some testimony to Congress, we started to see mortgage rates stabilize and get a little bit better, dropping into the upper 6s, pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Then last week, it was running into the 4th of July week there. Jobs report comes out hot. Unemployment comes out lower than expected by like 0.3. And crop rates creeping right back up again.
Are they? I don't know, man. I just whatever.
It is what it is. Like everyone gets hung up on the idea of an interest rate.
Sure.
I get it. It's carrying costs. Like it's expensive. It feels expensive, but you're missing out if you need to buy because your housing situation is changing. I can't tell you how many landlord deals I've done where they've this year alone where the tenant's buying the house because like, well, we're just going to raise the rent another 3 or 4%. Keep doing that. You probably need to buy a house.
Yeah.
And don't necessarily worry about the interest rate. Worry about where home prices likely go if rates do drastically drop.
Yeah. Where do they go?
I would venture to guess that they go up.
Right.
And, for all the other people using the R word, recession, we could pull up chart after chart. We've probably done an episode or two about it. Like real estate's pretty resilient through recession periods too. And there's only 4 or 5 different years where there's a year-over-year reduction in value. But again, it's your primary residence. Like that's not, you should think that is like your hedge.
Sure.
That shouldn't be your
retirement.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Might be your kid's retirement.
Could be if we keep up. What else we got on here? We talked about this. We talked about some interest rate stuff. Maybe some buyer behavior changes.
What's happening with that?
We've seen buyers become extremely picky on houses.
Ooh.
And I think what it comes down to is they're spending their bottom dollar, and so they want something turnkey.
Yeah.
Problem is you have people selling houses that just want to get away from it.
So there's no more pricing it in to because there's no cash to take care of whatever the issue is. Is that what
I mean, a lot of times the issues are explained. A roof now is $25,000-$30,000.
Mm-hmm.
The seller, all his money's in equity usually. All of our, the buyer's money is tied up usually in DoorDash. But there's a lot of imbalance because look at our marketplace. We have a lot of homes that were built in the 50s and the 60s that are now hitting the end of like their useful life without a revamp or a retouch.
Yeah.
And we talked about that with insurance, and like that creates a problem for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even know what it would cost, but you're running into a situation where these like the pipes are not good anymore, and what does it cost to gut a house and redo it? I don't know. It's a lot. Yeah,
I mean, I still will buy and flip some houses here and there, and I would say a ranch on a slab costs $100,000 to go soup the nuts on it.
Does it
on a renovation? Yeah.
And is that something that you can still recapture in the market as far as like value, or is it getting tighter there too?
Oh, we're very, very particular on where those houses are coming from. They're being bought in a manner that allows for there to be return.
Got it.
If these were houses that would come on to the regular market and be accessible to everybody, the prices would get ran up. There'd be no return on it.
Sure.
It's interest rates are what they are. Home prices are what they are. We'll never encourage anyone to spend money they don't want to spend. Like we want you to be comfortable with it. I've had lots of conversations with people that have either needed to come to grips with what monthly payment's going to be, or just say, hey, you know what? Maybe now is not my time.
I'm gonna rent,
and that's a completely fine thing.
Or I'm gonna stay where I'm at and make it work. Right? Like maybe the kid's got to sleep in a trundle bed. I don't know.
You got to make sacrifices sometimes. Like everything's a trade-off. You're always trading your time for money. Time's the only resource that everyone has the equal amount.
Sure.
Unless you found that 25th hour.
No, it's not there.
We've again more extreme weather events.
The flooding,
Texas flooding, and then last night in Chicago.
I didn't even see it.
Oh, like Oak Park-ish, like 290 over there. 7.25 inches of rain.
That's not good. Make sure you got backup of sewer and drain coverage, guys, because if you didn't endorse your basement, you might be looking at a $20,000 cleanup bill. So
let's run through that because I don't think any city can really even build a adequate storm sewer system to account for 7 inches of rain in that small of a time period.
Sure.
So your sewer and sump up, like that's for water that's coming up through the ground.
Yeah, when you jump that much rain into any area, it's like the water's got to go somewhere. And if maybe someone didn't open a gate or some debris gets in the city sewer, and then all of a sudden the water is coming back up, it's only got one place to go. That's the drain in your basement or your sump pump pit. That coverage, you have to buy it, and most people who understand it purchase it. But that, as a percentage of your homeowner's insurance, is somewhere around 25%. So, look at a $2,000 homeowner's premium a year. you're at like $500 of that would be to cover your basement.
So when people are price shopping,
Yes,
that's probably the first thing that someone's going to cut or chint on.
sure. It's usually that, oh, I don't need that. Well, let's think about what happens when you don't have that. So even if your basement isn't finished, which a lot of them aren't, so you get a foot of water or 6 inches of water, to clean it out, no big deal. Let's just spray some bleach, put some fans down there. You'll be fine. But what happens if that creeps up over the panel on your furnace and your AC? Now you're looking at $6,000 to replace your AC furnace, which
maybe even more now, because like if you're in an older house, like you got that other A coil with different refrigerant, all of that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing people don't necessarily realize. Like if you're in the Midwest, it's pretty common if you have a basement, most of your major mechanicals are in the basement.
Yep, they're down there.
So that's something that would, if you have that type of coverage and it destroys your HVAC or maybe some appliance, like washer, dryer, that stuff, water sewer backup covers that.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, that was the scenario where there is not a finished basement, but now let's start looking at a finished basement. So you got the flooring, you got to go 4 feet up on the drywall all the way around the house. There's like a week or two of like ServPro or ServiceMaster coming out and drying that basement out. Guess what a dehumidifier, one of those big giant ones, per day costs from them?
$500
a day for 2 weeks. So you can see how quickly these costs build up as far as like drying out your house. We're not even talking about putting back that bar that you built or the appliances that got ruined. Now you start looking at the couches and all the storage area stuff. So point being, we don't have to beat it up, but look at that on your house coverage, because that is the most common claim we have. And that's why it's the most expensive coverage to have. But you either prevent it with battery backups or like reverse flow systems. But in some scenarios, like Oak Park last night, none of that's going to do anything either.
Yeah, like that's, I think we've talked about this frequently. I mean, you and I think last summer we're up north at my place, and we saw one of these protracted rain event, like just an insane amount of water that you could probably go into some conspiracy theories on it. We saw what's gone on in Texas too. Like, so you look at that and go, okay, so if my homeowner's insurance premium's $2,000, that's probably $400 or $500 a year there.
Yeah.
But like multiply that over 20 years. In that 20-year period, you're probably going to have a problem in your basement.
Yeah.
If you got one, you're going to have a problem in it.
And if you that risk, you could retain it. If you got a healthy emergency fund, 20, 30 grand, maybe you don't pay for that and you just roll the dice. But just know that like that could be something you're staring down the barrel at.
And that's and we see it all frequently on the mortgage side, because we have debt to income ratio issue. I want my monthly payment to be this. It's like you could want your monthly payment to be that, but for an extra $50, $40 a month, you could have proper coverage for it.
Sure. And then you're not draining your emergency fund when something happens. Now you're just looking at a $2,000 bill instead of 20. So, life is a risk. It's a game of chance.
It keeps getting chancier and chancier. We've talked about insurance, kind of talked about rates, the markets. It's that weird lull in the summer spot there where everyone, you got a Friday, 4th of July. So everyone,
everyone was off on Thursday, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everything closed down. Actually, people, started checking out on that Monday, and
right,
all through there.
Which I love, by the way. Like we own a business, but we were like, what, Thursday, let's leave early. Let's just enjoy a weekend with your family, and string it together. Like it's at the midpoint of the year, just a little bit of a recharge. Yeah,
that's one thing maybe that in the difference between America and Europe too. Sometimes like they're a little more pro vacation over there.
Dude, we talked about it while we were there, and we can kind of dovetail back into that. But there is, we were saying it in the vein of complaining a little bit, because there's like almost no urgency over there.
Everything's island time.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, like maybe they got it right. Like if we're going in to sit down for a restaurant and some of the guys are getting agitated because they haven't taken our order, I'm like, we got nowhere to be. Like, why don't we just sit here and have a glass of wine and chill? But that whole economy in Scotland, it's all hospitality, and it's all golf. Like all the little towns, every one of them has a golf course, and it is the main source of revenue. So it's almost like they grow up knowing how to take care of people.
All right.
And man, the service was out of this world. Just everyone's like friendly, even though we're American, and I don't know that everybody loves us. Got to play Trump Turnberry, which I don't know if you followed like all the news reports from like last year, but you saw how it got vandalized, right?
Yep.
Talked to them about it. So there's an individual or a group of individuals that went over and like poisoned the greens, like not just like spray painted them, but like went like 4 feet down and put poison in them. So they had to redo everything. Spray painted all kinds of stuff. And, no matter where you stand on that, it's just like, that's destruction of property. And it's just not cool.
Like golf property, typically way more money than you ever expected.
It's wild. So it was like 50 million pounds, right? So it's like 1.5 times, or 60 cents was what the conversion rate was. We got crushed. How was having like
the dollar bottoming out over there was not the best thing for you.
I was eating like $30 cheeseburgers, guys. But anyways, the person that was responsible for that got like a 10,000 pound fine and like 3 years probation. Nothing. It's like, dude, put that guy away.
Yeah, that's. I guess welcome to Europe, maybe on some stuff. All right, so we got first half of the year from a sales perspective. From your perspective, are you guys on target, off target?
We're a little off, but this year we kind of we restructured, so we tore everything down. Kind of has to happen. Happens in sports, right?
You're always pruning.
Yeah,
and it's probably maybe the right way to describe it.
Yeah, pruning, you build your business on this infrastructure, but now you've overgrown that, and so unless you rebuild it on some different steel beams, it's going to implode or it can't grow further. So I think we're on pace for what this year was. Slow real estate market, obviously, but got some really good momentum. How about you guys?
We're missing. We're below the trend line.
Okay. We're
from a transaction count, definitely. Dollar amount, probably about on pace because prices have just naturally gone up. People are borrowing more. Kind of not maybe full on revamp of what we've done, but just like your business, like insurance in general has changed.
Yeah.
The entire model has been flipped upside down on its head the last couple of years because costs have gone up. Interest rate, cost of money's gone up. In the mortgage world, we're getting ready to focus on some more creative loan products.
Got it.
As rates have stayed where they've stayed on your agency business, so your Fannie, your Freddie, FHA, VA, USDA stuff, Wall Street's getting back into the game pretty strong.
Really?
On creative products.
Cool. Give me an example.
So debt service coverage ratio loan. Everyone loves to talk about it. We just buy the property. The file is underwritten on the cash flow of the property and you having enough assets.
Not necessarily the value of the property, just
cash flow.
The cash flow.
Yeah. So basically, your rent is $2,000. As long as your mortgage payment's under $1,900,
you win.
House is yours.
Wow. Doesn't matter what the dollar amount is.
As in the spread?
No, just like the loan amount.
Oh yeah, I mean the loan you have to balance it out so you don't end up with that higher, the higher payment. But that's one of them. It's a pretty popular thing. People are asking, hey, why is my rent going up or why is rent going up? Well, the cost to play in these products are 1.5% higher than market rate. So now your landlord, his cost of money is higher. So we know his insurance is more.
That gets passed along,
and it's getting passed along. So that one exists. But I think one of my favorite ones beyond the bridge loan product we've been talking about a lot is for self-employed people doing either a bank statement loan or a 1099 loan. So like Fannie and Freddie, FHA, again, the agency products, they all use the same spreadsheet. It's numbers here, numbers there, numbers here, numbers there, and you're qualified pretty much on your taxable income.
Yeah.
Well, there's, as you know, you own business, you own buildings, there's depreciation, there's cost, there's lots of other things.
It doesn't tell the whole story.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we have these products that look at your business as a business, not a entity that pays taxes. Yeah. Okay, here's the math on it. So I took someone that may have been qualified for a $400,000 house, and we got them qualified for an $800,000 house.
Nice.
And they're not getting smoked by the IRS.
And there's less paperwork probably, or more.
It depends on how you look at it. Like if you're an organized business person, it's a drag and drop, and we're in and we're out, and you have way more qualifying income, and you're able to buy stuff. And like what's crazy is a lot of these products, because they're Wall Street backed, the spreads on them are a little bit different. If you're not putting 10 or 20% down, most of them don't have PMI.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's all these other things. That's what we're aiming for the back half of this year, is to just win in that marketplace.
Makes sense.
So it's a fun one, man. Like it's not always fun to just do the old, let's just put these numbers in this worksheet and hit this button and say yes or no.
I can see that.
The other part that goes on, we'll talk about the whole credit score thing too. But like one of the other confusing things is people don't understand. We don't bite to have conversations. Like I happily talk to 200 people a day about mortgages for a minute, talk to them about insurance. Yeah. People are calling or they're getting into it too late. Start with a conversation. If you think the house is not going to be,
you mean like they find the house before they find their,
not only they like fall in love with the idea of the house.
Oh no.
And it's unfortunate. And like, then it becomes this scramble. And I tell people at midpoint of the year, like, call your mortgage guy, have a check. And yesterday I talked to a guy that I did his loan for 2 years ago. And hey, what's going on? How are you? How's your business? So, the business is booming. I mean, that's all. I love when we have self-employed people who hit a stride. And he's like, yeah, man, like rates aren't anywhere worth refinancing right now. But he's like, can you connect me with somebody on something for my business? And case closed. So just have those conversations. Man, we don't bite. I'm closed a loan yesterday for someone that I started with 2 years ago.
Wow.
We don't, it's conversation.
Yeah.
So business, a little goofy, but some products are coming back. Renovation stuff is taking off again. So buying those ugly houses, and if you don't have the money you don't have the liquid to put new windows in, you don't have liquidity to put a new roof on, there are ways to finance that. So we got those products that we're going to try to knock out too. And that's about it.
Cool.
Kick back, relax, strap down for the second half of this year. Try to get some golf in.
That's right. Fall's coming, which is by far the best season, I think. By far.
Like if we could get like the first week of October weather for
forever.
Like 72 crisp.
Yeah, maybe some burning leaves in the air. Something like that.
Yeah, get your some pumpkin spice, some Uggs, put your gray sweater on.
Maybe one little boat cruise, a couple last boat cruises in the fall.
That's that no better time than fall boating. Other than that, you got anything else?
Nah, man.
We will strap it down. We'll try to come up with some cool things to talk about the rest of the year. Enjoy your cruel summer.
Yeah.
I know you guys had a little T-Swift bumping in here earlier.
We finally got some summer weather, which is cool.
It's warm. It came. And now it's going to be gone.
Right.
All right. Build some rafts if you're in the western suburbs there, and double check and make sure your homeowner's insurance policy has that sewer backup coverage. And if you have questions about your homeowner's insurance policy, you get Adam at adamismyagent.com. Mortgage stuff, you hit me at applywithjr.com. And we out.
Game on.
I'm done. Cut the show.